Hello there, and welcome to CC in 23? No, not this time. It's CC in 11. So here's the thing about Brute Squad. For a while, we ended up chilling on Curtain Call, not due to skill, but more due to intel production. So fortunately, obviously, we have moved past this issue, and we've carried on into the more difficult ops, but because we chilled for a little bit with CC, obviously I was able to record a couple of different episodes, but also we were able to refine a lot of our skills at the CC level for later on when, you know, they matter a little bit more. And that's a good thing because, well, we needed the refining, I guess. But also because it allowed me to, the task force to get down to 11 attacks, which allows me to bring you the task force doing 11 attacks to take down the whole freaking operation. And there are some beautiful, beautiful hits. Very, very... even going back and watching it, even if it's CC, very impressive. So right here, what we have, or what you're witnessing, is the beginning of the wraparound, the mortar wraparound, which is critical for the like CC and up level of ops. Now, as you can see, there's like a little gap between that top mortar and the flamethrower in the corner. You have to throw your first flare right in the middle of that, and then as that flare is wearing out, you actually flare onto the rocket launcher, which causes all of your Zookas to wrap around the mortars, and then you flare onto the core and blow things up, as you can see Mezzo did. I wish that we could just be like, it was our idea, we're amazing, but no. We found it somewhere. I don't know who did it first or who gets all the credit, but it is a fantastic little maneuver that it makes life that much easier, because what happens is your Zookas end up in the safe zone of the mortar. They're able to take out the HQ without needing to have a shock in there, and all you gotta do is shock the flamethrowers and then all the rocket launchers and everything around it, and Bob is your uncle, or your victim. I don't know, maybe you victimize your uncle. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to bring you an absolutely fantastic attack. Now, hopefully in some of the other videos for DC / DE / double D's? Is there a double D? I don't know. I know there's a double C, but the point is, if you keep tuning in and keep watching more ops, you're gonna see that maneuver over and over and over. Hopefully I'll be able to go into a little more detail on it, because it really is a lifesaver, and it's incredibly tricky to pull off. You've got to be very careful, but we'll get into that. So next up on our CCN11 is Rooster going after Orbi. Now, honestly, Orbi is still a solo. We still get it every once in a while, and it's kind of nice. It's like, oh yeah, it's one of those nice easy cores, but if you don't do it right, I could very much see this being an incredibly difficult hit. So obviously, pick a side, left or right, maybe even the back, depending on what kind of defenses are around, and set up shop. Now, what you're gonna try to do is choose the side that has the most single target defenses, because once you get up into the middle there, you're gonna be shocking the shock launchers and the rocket launchers, and maybe if you've got energy, throwing out some critters for the cannons / sniper towers. But for the most part, you want to have your troops sit there blowing up that core without having any AoE damage around them. Moving on, as you can see, Creech has changed his or her name, and is now just Creech instead of Creature Cream. Oh, jeez. See, I say Krispy Kreme way too many times, and it ends up like I can't even make with the words. So the point is, he's switched up his name because I was far too awkwardly mispronouncing and saying his name. And fortunately, even though he's changed up his name, he has not changed up his super elite skills. And as you can see on Tapir, or, well, Tapir here, anyways, you get the idea. Just strolling right up on into the 8 o'clock spot and nuking the poop out of that core. Absolutely monster hit. Pretty sure that core probably would have still had around 1.5 million on it. Again, it was so long ago, I'm not really sure. As you can tell, again, still no hero is on any of these attacks because it's pre-heroes. It's the way it is, you know. So next up we got SZ, or Stupid Zookas, or if you're Canadian, SZ, coming at you, going after the strange attractors once again. This is actually a little more reminiscent of the newer way, if you would, the way that we're doing strange attractors now, which is, you know, rifle Zuko or Zookas around the left-hand side. Now, obviously, if you're rocking all the Zookas and you just have a really good critter army right in front of you, just kind of trolling along, keeping the grapplers busy, keeping the sniper towers and cannons busy, allowing your Zooks to just kind of stroll through unmolested, then absolutely you don't need any rifles. But if you got a few, like, you know, 2 or 3 boatloads of rifles in there, it's helped save a lot of GBE, which might be more useful later on in the attack, depending on what you're looking at down here closer to the core. So obviously, in this case, you know, having a shock on the flamethrowers and machine guns and sniper towers and everything is really nice and handy to have. Also, this was back in the day when you could actually have a machine gun target your Zookas and not have to care because your Zookas didn't disappear like they do now. But yeah, like if you run into, say, a version of the map where there's rocket launchers or lasers or whatever, where that mortar is at, I don't know, 435-ish, if you've got something scary in there, you can use that GBE that you've saved up going around the left-hand side to mess with whatever that is, whether it's throwing critters or throwing shocks or doing both or smoking over and taking it out if it's nasty enough. I'm not gonna judge. Anyways, for this particular attack, SZ was able to come right around to 12 o'clock exactly, and with the remaining Zookas that he has, just nuke the poop out of the core, took it down in one shot. Absolutely fantastic hit. And then we can move on to... Sorry, he didn't take it down. He almost took it down. He had to load up his second account to take it down. That's right. My bad. So he decided to go all Scorcher craziness because, I don't know, he wanted to be crazy. Also, there's like 2 hit points left on that HQ, so there's not enough going on. But bit of a different twist to the end, I guess, there. Which brings us to Quick Charge and Lil D, or Lil Dan, or Daniel, Lil Dan. The point is, he's a monster, and he's attacking and doing a fantastic job. So, as always with the Quick Charge, the key is to clear the mines over on the left-hand side without losing your delay, if at all possible. And then there's a little gap between the nodes where you can drop your flare. You want to run your troops right up there, and when they're pretty much even with the rocket launchers, you want to flare them down onto the rocket launchers, throw a shock onto the rocket launchers, and start clearing them bad boys out. While that happens, you want to throw some barrage and critters and artillery around the machine guns, just because that'll make it easier for your Zooks to get in. And then you can go farm up all the free GBE for a little bit. Now, here is where Quick Charge traps you. So, as you can see, he's farming up a little bit of energy, but you can, if you just let your Zooks roam free, you can waste the entirety of the attack just killing nodes back there, which is no good. That's not going to get you the win. It's kind of funny that it's called Quick Charge, and that is exactly what is needed. You have to roll in and get on that core as fast as possible. Because of the shield, if you don't do that, you're going to run into some problems. Now, as you can see, he finishes off the scary stuff immediately around him and then goes straight after the core with over a minute, almost a minute and 15 seconds. And that allows him to take the time that he needs to burn through that that shield and get to the core. Otherwise, if you've wasted too much time, then you're kind of SOL. You're gonna have some problems. You're not gonna be quick enough for the charge, if you know what I mean. And then you're gonna have to waste a second attack just cleaning up the core and not really committing anything to the attack, just having enough damage to get through it, which is always a shame. It always feels like a bit of a waste. Anyways, moving on to Dioxin. This is still our old school way of doing the old Dio. The Dio. So, with this one, going up the left-hand side, obviously because of the defenses, he is really hugging over to the left. We actually have a really nice path now that cuts right through the middle of everything. What he's trying to do, really, is miss all of the mines, not get hit. And as you can see, he actually still got a little bit of a touching there, which is really unfortunate because it fried half of his Zookas. And then, you know, gets into place to take out some defenses, and really all he's able to do is take out a couple of rocket launchers. Not his fault. This is the way we were doing Dio, whatever you want to call it, before we found the new fancy way. Fancy. You're gonna have to wait for some DE and DC videos for that, though. Alright, so following up, in comes Jay, going around, following a very similar path to avoid having to clear all the mines up there around, I guess, well, in between the rocket launcher and the flamethrower, and I guess south, or, you know, at the 6 o'clock of the flamethrowers. There's a lot of stuff going on here, and clearly he's just trying to avoid the worst of it and do as much damage as possible. Oh, that was a close shock. Oh my goodness. Do as much damage as possible, clear out as many defenses as possible before he runs out of energy, so that the last person can come in, RF again, and finish off the core. And obviously he's doing this the only way we know how, which is lots of GBE. No, I'm just kidding. That's just to clear the mines out of where he's going to eventually drop his Zookas. So, into the bottom corner, this is actually maybe one of the earlier walks that found the sweet path. I don't know. As you can see, oh no. Yeah, on the right-hand side, there's a really nice grouping. His Zookas go in a nice line. Everything looks really nice. That's actually key to to kind of where we end up with the Dioxin strategy. It feels weird. Anyways, guys, thanks very much for watching. Hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully it's been entertaining. And above all else, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day.